Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome once again to the monthly Greenwich Village Folk Festival. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. It's been a beautiful day, a little cool here in the Northeast, but it is spring, so we can expect it. Hope it's lovely wherever you are, and I hope you're ready to settle back for the next 3 hours as we bring you some outstanding artists. I'm Ronald Lesko. I'm the co-MC of this event. My co-host this month is none other than Mike Regenstrife. Mike is a legendary broadcaster from Canada, also a writer, a producer. He's done it all, and we're going to enjoy talking to him tonight as he helps us introduce all these wonderful artists. And what a lineup! We've got another good one for you. Tonight we'll be featuring Jim Page, Jasper Lepak, Daniel Bowling, Grace Morrison, Peter Callow, Scott Ainsley, Sarah Milanovic, Rod MacDonald and Mark Dan, Tread Fury, and David Wilcox. So get yourself a nice comfy seat and sit back to enjoy. Now, this is a free event. The Greenwich Village Folk Festival is originally started back in 1987, and it took a little hiatus, but during 2020, after the pandemic, it came back, and we've been doing this every month on the first Sunday of the month ever since then. And tonight, by the way, we'll mark, as soon as the show's completed, we'll have done 3 full years of monthly broadcasts. It went on the air July 2022, and we're still going strong. We have some good plans for the future, so stick around and you'll find out all about it. Now, I said this is a free festival, but we do have a tip jar. And if you're able to help us and support this so to keep us going for hopefully another 3 years and longer, we could use your help. So at the bottom of your screen, if you're watching in YouTube or on Facebook, you'll see some links. And you can go there, make a donation, whatever you could afford to help keep this going. It's important. We are a nonprofit, and the money raised here helps keep this going and helps support all these wonderful artists. I know many are getting back on the road, but it's still tough times in the folk community. So if you can help out and keep us going, we really appreciate it. Well, are you ready to hear some music? I know I am. Our first artist, well, Seattle Metropolitan Magazine named our first guest as one of the 50 most influential musicians in Seattle's history. And Seattle's had quite a history. And if you've been to Seattle, and if you've enjoyed some of these street performers that you've seen there, you can thank Jim. Back in 1974, he was responsible for getting street busking legalized in Seattle. He's also a founder of the Pike Place Market Busker Festival. He's a singer-songwriter whose works have been covered by so many artists, including the Doobie Brothers, Christy Moore, Dick Auchen, Michael Hedges, Roy Bailey, and many others. On his own, he's recorded 22 albums, and the most recent was released last year, and it's a gem. It's called The Time Is Now. Well, the time is now to welcome to the Greenwich Village Folk Festival, Jim Page.
Thank you, Ron. It's good to be here. In this beautiful country in which I'm living, there is a story that you'll find about a woman named Kiki Soul Blue, and how they called her Angeline, Kiki Soul Blue. She was the eldest daughter of Chief Seattle. She watched the world disappear. She said, you can build your town around me. I'm not going anywhere, Angeline, Kiki Soul Blue. And it was a fine and expensive wife of Doc Maynard who defined her into something to be owned when she said, you're much too beautiful for such an ugly name. From now on you will be known as Angeline, not Kiki Soul Blue. they made her illegal. And all of her people and the children threw rocks behind and back. Oh, but Kiki So Blue had some rocks of her own, yes she did. And she threw them back, hands aligned. Kiki So Blue. Landlord, landlord, look over your shoulder. Careful who you're talking to. Maybe somebody you stole something from. Come to take it back from you. Angela, Kiki So Blue. So many thieves, for all that they have taken, they leave us with a world full of holes. Oh, but we have rocks, we have heroes, and we will not do what we are told. Hands aligned, Kiki So Blue. Hands aligned. I have to take these earbuds out because I can't. That song was called Angeline, and she was, as the song says, she was one of Chief Seattle's daughter, and she wouldn't move when the town was built. Now hold on, let me see how I do this. Oh yeah, this is called Down to Zero. Christian Ward recorded this last year, I think, something like that, and he called it Clock Winds Down, which sort of makes more sense. And it's climate change. Ron was talking about touring, people touring, and how it's people are starting to tour, but it's still a little bit weird. Well, it is a little bit weird for me because I don't know what I'm going to get myself into weather-wise. Anyway, Down to Zero goes like this. Oh, there are no words enough to say how a world like this could die away, how reason falls on deaf ears, truth dissolves and disappears, and the clocks are counting down to zero. They warned us years ago. People laughed it off, said, what do they know? And we went our separate ways to find a future facing the end of the line, and the clocks are counting down to zero. Now the weather stumbles, forests burn, past the point of no return. Corporation money thrives, while the refugees look for a place to survive, and the clocks are counting down to zero. History walks the plank. Its eyes are flat, its face is blank. The melting ice, the rising sea, a redder sun than it used to be, and the clocks are counting down to zero. I know people who live in trees and who chain themselves to machineries, who face the judge's scornful stare. There is no shelter anywhere, and the clocks are counting down to zero. In Standing Rock there is a black snake, and in times like these you do whatever it takes, wherever a line is drawn. For the people in the land, they live on, and the clocks are counting down to zero. I fear for children I see, and I don't blame them when they look at me as if to say, how could you? We were depending on you. And the clocks are counting down to zero. I woke up in a sweat last night, so all alone I couldn't face my freight. But I took a look around to see millions more, just like me, just like me. Just like me, millions more. Just like me, because the clocks are counting down to zero. All right, so I'm going to play one more song. Oh, people, what? I can't hear because I don't have my earbuds in. But, you know, I play better when I don't have those things in. So hold on. This is a love song called Gasworks Park, and it's about a place in Seattle which is called Gasworks Park. It was designed by 3 out-of-work hippie architects way back in, I don't know, 72, something like that. And it was an old coal gasification plant. All right, Gasworks Park goes like this. Look out. I get the fingers going. Early in the evening, we go walking in the park. In the evening, do a little talking in the dark of the evening. Just she and me. See the way the moon flies, like a kite up in the night skies. Shine upon the Gasworks Park by the Union Sea. Oh, there's a sign in the water, says don't go in the water. There's something in the water that they don't want you to get on your skin. Oh, but the lights of the city make it look so pretty. Now one of these days we're gonna leave the city behind, and there is little to be what it appears to be. It's an illusory situation. You can do anything, be anyone, and get your mind undone. It's a simple equation, and it's the tiny spark in the gasworks spark. Oh, in the town that I was born in, well, they got up every morning, came home in the evening, yes, and it was always the same. I could have followed in their footsteps, I don't know why I didn't. Something in my thinking wouldn't allow me to jump on that train. And there is little to be what it appears to be. It's an illusory situation. You can do anything, be anyone, and get your mind undone. It's a simple equation, and it's the tiny spark in the gasworks spark. So early in the evening, we go walking in the park in the evening, do a little talking in the dark of the evening, just she and me. Thanks.
That was Jim Page and his wonderful song starting us off tonight at the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. Hi, folks. My name is Mike Regenstreif, and I'm the host of a program on CKCU radio in Montreal. I said Montreal. I meant to say Ottawa. I used to be on the radio in Montreal years ago. I host a program on CKCU called Stranger Songs, which is a weekly theme-based show, and that's on Tuesday afternoons from 3:30 until 5 p.m. And I am also one of the 4 rotating hosts of the Saturday morning show on CKCU, which is a 3-hour roots music jamboree, and you can hear those shows over the internet, either live or we archive the shows for years and years and years, so you can go back and listen to any of those shows anytime at ckcufm.com if you are so inclined. Our next performer is Jasper Lepak. Jasper, who is now based in Minnesota, has also lived in the American Southwest, the Northwest, and South Africa. I discovered Jasper's music a couple of years ago through her wonderful album Desert Ghosts, an album filled with insightful songs about the nature of human relationships and a life of change. In reading about Jasper, I discovered that she grew up studying classical piano and turned to the guitar and to songwriting after earning a master's degree in creative writing, and that certainly comes through in her songwriting. She's also got a bunch of earlier albums that I hope to hear sometime, and I will now turn it over to her. Without any further ado, this is Jasper Lepak.
Hey, it's just so good to be here. And I'm going to start with a song that I'm working on right now. I'm recording a new album, and I'm doing it in Seattle, where I used to live. So it was really lovely to hear a song about Gasworks Park because I just went for a walk there about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so this song is called My Own Moves. I stayed up late last night with a glass of wine, turned the TV on just to pass the time. Two people fell in love right there on the screen, and I remembered how we used to be when our blood was young, when our hearts were sure, when love was easy. It's just the way we learn to dance. You take the lead, I'll follow your steps. Now it's my turn to trust my own moves, but it ain't easy. No, it ain't easy. Do you remember when we used to talk all night? Hold each other close till the morning light. There was no holding back, only letting go. An open road ahead, we couldn't wait to travel. I felt so understood, the future shines so bright when love was easy. It's just the way we learn to dance. You take the lead, I'll follow your steps. Now it's my turn to trust my own moves, but it ain't easy. No, it ain't easy. They never tell you how time's gonna wear you down. You'll break your promises, give up without a sound. Two people build a wall that they can't break through, doing hurtful things they swore they'd never do. When their blood was young, when their hearts were sure, when love was easy. It's just the way we learn to dance. You take the lead, I'll follow your steps. Now it's my turn to trust my own moves, but it ain't easy. No, it ain't easy. Now it's my turn to trust my own damn moves, but it ain't easy. No, it ain't easy. Thank you so much. Whew, the live stream nerves like really caught me when I started that song. It's just so wonderful to be here with all of you, and I'm going to sing a song about from my last album, Desert Ghosts. This song was inspired by a poem, and I'll show you the book of poetry. This is Olives by A.E. Stallings, and there's a poem in here called Triolet on a Line, apocryphally ascribed to Martin Luther.
It's a long title for a pretty short poem, and the theologian Martin Luther supposedly said, "Why should the devil get all the good tunes?" And A.E. Stallings wrote a poem about that, and I thought it should be a song. So this is called "Why Should the Devil?" Why should the devil get all the good tunes? The booze and the neon and the rhythm and blues, the swaying in the darkness and the lovers like spoons. Why should the devil get all the good tunes? And why should the devil have all the real fun? The fire and the freedom and the coming undone, the Saturday nights and the beating of the drums. Why should the devil have all the real fun? Told me that the devil likes to dance, dressed up in the shadows, always looking for his chance. Snake in the garden, wanna change my plans. I think the devil is a music man. Why should the devil get all the good tunes? Does he sing them on Sunday in those dim lit rooms, rocking out the jukebox, making bad men swoon? Why should the devil get all the good tunes? Why should the devil want to steal my soul? This wretched bowl of lonesomeness need to be whole. Just a lost little puppy always looking for a home. Why should the devil want to steal my soul? My mama told me that the devil likes to dance, dressed up in the shadows, always looking for his chance. Snake in the garden, want to change my plans. I think the devil is a music man. God's so good, why don't he have soul? Don't he hear the music, wanna lose control? Feel the heavy rhythm, wanna rock and roll? God's so good, why don't he have soul? Why should the devil get all the good tunes? The songs that make you sweat, the songs that make you move, the songs that make you feel like you got nothing to lose. Why should the devil get all the good tunes? And why should the devil keep me up at night, whisper in my ear, do what I like, sounding so wrong but feeling so right? Why should the devil keep me up at night? My mama told me that the devil likes to dance, dressed up in the shadows, always looking for his chance. Snake in the garden, wanna change my plans. I think the devil is a music man. I think the devil is a music man. Why should the devil get all the good tunes? The booze and the neon and the rhythm and blues, the swaying in the darkness and the lovers like spoons. Why should the devil get all the good tunes?
Nice.
It was always so much fun to play. Thank you. I'm recording a new album. I'm hoping to release it in October if all goes as planned. And it's a song about a lot of feminist issues, reproductive rights, pregnancy, caregiving, equality in relationships, all of those themes. And this song I'm going to sing for you now, I wrote in the weeks following the overturning of Roe v. Wade last June. And at the time, I was still recovering from a miscarriage. And even though I consider myself a feminist, I really didn't know that miscarriage care and abortion care are the same medical procedure, same medication. And I just could not imagine being abandoned by my healthcare providers in that time of grief. So there was this really raw emotion around the Supreme Court's decision. And then since then, all of these stories from women around our country who are going through really life and death situations that are completely unnecessary. And I just wanted to write a song that said, you know, a woman is a human being and we need to be seen that way too. It's called I Am Human. And I'm going to start over. I got really nervous and emotional, and I was about to play that in the wrong key with a out of tune note. So let me try that one more time. Okay. You don't know me, but I'm someone like you. I am a woman. I am human too. I am your mother, your daughter, your sister, your friend. I am a woman. I am human. You don't know me, but I dream just like you. I've got big plans, important things to do. I've got my liberty, I've got my happiness to pursue. You don't know me, but I'm just like you. How can a person be expected to live with no autonomy, with no choice in what they give? Can't you see me? For all that I am a woman. I am human. You could be me with one roll of the dice. You could lose everything, all of your power, your voice. When it was written, it was one vote for every white man. We will lose everything if we let this stand. How can a person be expected to die no more than a vessel for a possible life? Can't you see me? For all that I am a woman. I am a human. I'm not a sinner. I'm not yours to control. I'm not the cause of the fall of man. I am your mother, your daughter, your sister, your lover, your friend. You already know me, and you've got to trust me. You already know me, and you've got to trust me. You already know me. I am human. I am human. I am human.
Thank you, Jasper. That is a powerful song and a much-needed song. Thank you for writing that. I know that's got to be a difficult song to write and perform. And I hope some of our viewers are watching and listening tonight will check out Jasper's website, jasperlepak.com, and you can find that song as a digital download as well as her other recordings. And I know Mike and I are both anxiously looking forward to that new album this fall, so we look forward to that. Jasper Lepak. Well, it's off to a great start tonight. I hope you're enjoying it, and I hope you're able to donate. Don't forget the tip jar. if you're able to help us out, it's greatly appreciated. We want to keep this going every month, and it's getting harder as folks are getting back to work, and artists are getting bookings and such. And I know folks like you listening, watching, it's not like it was during the pandemic, but this show is very important. We're bringing you a wonderful world of our folk community, acoustic songwriters, and we want to continue doing it. So your help will keep this going. So check out in either the YouTube or the Facebook page. You'll see links to where you can donate. Or just go to the website, greenwichvillagefolkfestival.org. And hey, if you think you've missed anything, this is, as I said, this is the end. After the Tonight Show's over, we'll have completed 3 years of monthly concerts. And if you missed any of them, they're available on our YouTube page. So check that out as well. Well, our next artist is a touring balladeer and songwriter based in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And he became a full-time touring musician at the age of 50. But for 3 decades prior, he was an investigator in the national parks and public lands all across the West. Well, his music and performance earned him honors as winner of the Grassy Hill Kerrville New Folk Songwriter Contest, plus awards at the Walnut Valley Festival, Santa Fe Bluegrass and Old Time Festival, Albuquerque Folk Festival, and Woody Guthrie Folk Festival, among many others. He's also the newest member of the legendary folk trio, the Limelighters. Well, Daniel has released 8 solo albums, plus 2 with the trio, and he's currently in the studio recording a full album of songs that he's co-written with Tom Paxton. When describing Daniel's music, Tom said, "That's not just songwriting, that's composition." Well said, Tom. Please welcome Daniel Bowling.
Thank you very much, Ron. It's delightful to be back with you guys. That sounds good. We've all heard it said, when it's all said and done, out of all the wide world, there is bound to be one. All my defenses completely undone. How did you know it was me? Some other fella brought you to the dance. The moment I met you, that boy stood no chance. I knew it was you from your very first glance. But how did you know it was me? I never was noted for beauty or charm, but the world likes me better with you on my arm. With one quiet kiss, I'm completely disarmed. How did you know it was me? You knew all about me in a moment or two. Now I want a lifetime to learn about you. My future was clear and I suddenly knew. But how did you know it was me? You give me your happiness, you let me be the person I'm trying so hard to set free. You seem to see something the world doesn't see. That's how you knew it was me. You say you see plenty the world doesn't see. That's how you knew it was me.
Yeah.
Thank you, people. Thank you. Thanks. That's one of the songs Tom and I have been writing together. In fact, everything I'm going to do in this little mini set is from the new album that is just coming out. 15 songs co-written between me and Tom Paxton, and Tom did me the honor of singing on 5 of them on the record. So I'm just delighted. That's going to be out in August, the middle of August. And if you go to danielbowling.com, sign up on the mailing list, I'll let you know when it's out. Otherwise, catch me at a show somewhere. The main thing I want to not forget to tell you tonight is that Tom Paxton and Jackson Emmer and I are leading a songwriters retreat up in Colorado at the end of this month. It's June 30th, July 1st, and 2nd, and we have just a couple of seats left. So if that's something that might interest you, I know for me last year, just the chance to spend 3 days with Tom Paxton was plenty of reason to sign up, but I also learned a great deal, and then Tom and Jackson invited me to come back this year and help teach it. So, and I got to be friends with Tom and start writing with him. So you never know what's going to happen at a songwriter retreat. We'd love to have you join us. Information on that is at danielbowling.com also. Or you can go straight to JacksonEmmer with 2 M's.com/store and get one of those last couple seats. When they sent us here to fight, I believed that it was right. Decades in our longest war, I'm not so certain anymore. Giving it back to the Taliban, leaving Afghanistan. Well, I think we intended well, but any more, man, who can tell what they told us and what was real? I just know the way I feel, giving it back to the Taliban, leaving Afghanistan. What we've wanted all these years, leaving Afghanistan. Now that day is finally here, leaving Afghanistan. Thousands dead, millions more, don't have a country anymore. Who'll be here when the last plane clears, leaving Afghanistan? I believe we have to leave. The war is hopeless, I agree, but something else is just as true. Leaving's the worst thing we can do, giving it back to the Taliban, leaving Afghanistan. Men we've worked with hand in glove, families we've grown to love, and working dogs, brave and faithful. It may be right, but it feels disgraceful, giving it back to the Taliban, leaving Afghanistan. What we wanted all these years, leaving Afghanistan. Now that day is finally here, leaving Afghanistan. Thousands dead, millions more, don't have a country anymore. Who'll be here when the last plane clears, leaving Afghanistan, leaving Afghanistan. Thank you. I got just one more for you. Again, all 3 of these and 12 more co-writes between me and Tom will be on this new album. It's called New Old Friends. Because I figure they've always said you can't make new old friends, but I'm not sure that's true. Tom and I seem to have managed it in pretty short order. So. And in fact, one of the songs on there, the very first song Tom and I wrote together is called Old Friends. And Tom sang it on his birthday party when we did this back in January, so I'm not going to sing it again now, but it's on the album. Okay, I got one left for you. What did you do in the missing years? How did you pass the time? I tried TV, nothing on. Alex Trebek was pretty much gone. I sat around drinking wine. I have this bookcase in my house filled with classic tomes. If ever I find the time, I said, I could wind up pretty well read in novels, plays, and poems. Stood in line, got my shots, avoided busy public spots. Stayed home every chance I got, wore my mask to bed. Tarot cards and casting lots, shady deals and crooked plots. Old acquaintances forgot, but not a lot got read. We're not done with the missing years, we might never be. Everybody works from home, spends way too much time alone, or maybe that's just me. There's no such thing as the good old days, there never really was. Right and left refuse to mix, practice dirty politics just like the other guy does. Stood in line, got my shots, avoided busy public spots. Stayed home every chance I got, wore my mask to bed. Tarot cards and casting lots, shady deals and crooked plots. Old acquaintances forgot, and not a word was said. We won't forget the missing years, the heroes and the volunteers. We've overcome our gravest fears, but we'll remember when we all mourned those missing lives. Who's gone now and who survives? We're grateful each new day arrives, the sun comes up again. We're grateful each new day arrives, the sun comes up again. Thank you.
Daniel Bowling. And
Love to be here with you.
Daniel, I got to say that I'm eagerly anticipating that album of your songs co-written with Tom Paxton, and I know a radio home in Canada that will be very happy to play it.
Thank you. We'll make sure you get one.
Our next performer is Grace Morrison. Grace grew up around Cape Cod and describes herself as a mother, musician, Renaissance fair performer, cranberry farmer, songwriter, and storyteller. I first heard Grace's music this year through her album Maybe Modern, but I've since learned that she's got 3 previous albums to her credit and co-writing credits with the likes of Laurie McKenna and several others. Grace's songs combine strains of contemporary folk, country, and pop. Here is Grace Morrison.
Hey, I'm so happy to be here. You're all seeing my complete lack of ability to decorate my home. I worked really hard and then I gave up. I got that one map up there. But, you know, we've been having an interesting time here. I live in Rochester, Massachusetts, which you might assume is a very liberal, accepting area just because it's in Massachusetts. But I'm wearing my protest shirt. And a few years back, my son is 4. And I remember when he was a little tiny baby, we were driving around the town, and I was sing-songing, and I was going, look at the tree, and look at the field. And I had this moment, I was like, shoot, someday I'm going to have to tell him about the crummy things, too. Like, that's my job as a mom. And this year, our town has been overtaken by these people who want to ban books and minimize the LGBTQ community, and they'd be standing on the street corners every day, like shaking these books in your face. And my son one day said, Mama, what are these people doing? And I said, gosh, you know, they have a hard time accepting that people are different. And he said to me, Mama, we're like a rainbow. And I'm like, man, you get it. I didn't have to teach you anything. You just get it. So this is a song I wrote for him when he was a little baby.
There are mothers and there are sons. There are planes in the heavens above. There is dirt and there is mud. There is hurting and there is love. Just a flash across the road. Hearts racing as the car is slowed. There is life in every leaf, and there is blood inside of me. There's rain and tired feet, babies crying in the desert heat, and mama sings while mama cries, the last of her sweet lullabies. There is comfort and there is warmth. There is shelter from every storm. There is hope and there is light, just like darkness in the night. There are mothers and there are sons. There are flowers and there are guns. While we smile, somebody cries. My darling, open your eyes. Oh, thank you. One of the other gifts of motherhood is that I suddenly have adult onset allergies and I'm trying to sing through them. I'm sorry if I sound a little rougher than I usually do. But I heard Daniel talking about my friend Jackson Emmer, and I wasn't going to play this song, but I love Jackson Emmer, and I wrote this song with him, and I just recorded it in Nashville. So I'm really excited about this one. I don't know when it's going to come out, but we wrote this over Zoom. Put the ring on every day. A promise kept, a promise made. Stood in front of everyone, so innocent when we begun. Now look how far we've come. Half the bills are overdue. Drowning here in debt with you. Some days we're treading endlessly. I'm so glad it's you with me. We put the ring on every day. Some days we're boxers in the ring. Some days you're Swayze, dirty dancing. Some days life leaves you on the floor. Some days you're begging me for more. It gets easier, they say. It doesn't always feel that way. You put the ring on every day. A special date for groceries. Milk and as we're standing in the line. It's always you catching my eye, and you don't even have to try. I'll put the ring on every day. I can't help but wonder where I'd be if I'd let you get away. Driving down the highway till the darkness comes, singing to myself just to hear someone say it'll be okay. Some days we're boxers in a ring. Some days you're Swayze dirty dancing. Some days life leaves you on the floor. Some days you're begging me for more. It gets easier, they say. It doesn't always feel that way. You put the ring on every day. And when my hips don't work no more, and there's a shoehorn by the door, my knuckles scream and swell and sing. Pull the band off with a string. You're still my more than everything, and I'll find a different way to put the ring on every day.
Thank you. Songwriting over Zoom. I was so skeptical about it because, it's hard. Like, when you're in a room writing with somebody, you kind of get energy off of each other. And I was just so worried about Zoom, but it worked. Also, because Jackson Emmer is awesome. I find that the more events I do, I'm just like promoting Jackson Emmer. I'm really bad at promoting myself. Oh, man. But I'm just so thrilled to have been invited tonight. Such wonderful songwriters here. And thank you, Ron and Mike, for being such gracious hosts. And I'm just really thrilled that DJs have been playing my new record. I had a ball. I drove from Massachusetts to Austin, Texas to record it. And Walt Wilkins produced it. And this is the song. This is the title track. And this is the reason he even decided to work with me was because of this song. And I'll spare you my usual lengthy intro because Americana Highways heard my lengthy intro and said, "Oh, this is just a song about being a human." And I said, "Yes, I guess you are right." This is called Broken Things. My great-grandma's chair's still standing, dusty thing but proud. Piano strings still singing, out of tune but loud. 100 years living, and it still wants more. Maybe we just hold until we're past the pain it brings. Yeah, we're all just broken things. That's my grandpa's old jalopy. You still can't turn it on. Out the door and down the road, can't stop us once we're gone. 100 years living,
what it meant to hurt. My granddad was stoic as a wall. I wonder if he felt pain at all. Well, of course he did. He was just a little kid back when we don't talk about it. This old house has seen its share of hearts broke on the floor. It will be here after I'm gone, opening its doors. Maybe modern hearts aren't meant to last. We just hold on till we're past the pain it brings. Yeah, we are all just broken things. Thank you all so much for having me.
Oh, Grace Morrison. Oh, thank you so much. Hey, did I hear you say it correctly that your son is 4 years old already?
Yeah.
You know, I remember you came on my radio show. You were about 8 months pregnant, and you gave us an amazing performance. But I thought we were going to have a first on the radio here. But I'm so glad. I'm so glad you're doing well. He's doing well, and what a great album. Maybe Modern. Everybody, check out Grace's website. She is a phenomenal songwriter, as you just witnessed, and you'll be hearing more from her, I'm sure. Well, again, I want to thank everybody who's been donating to our tip jar. You can find all that information. Go to our website, GreenwichVillageFolkFestival.org. And also, please be sure to check out the artist website. There's some great albums out there, some great concert information that you'll find. And, it's still a tough time. The pandemic is supposedly over, but venues are still having a tough time getting people back in. A lot of places are closing. It's been more expensive and tougher for artists to tour. So everything you can do to help and keep this music going is appreciated. Well, I am so happy that this next guest is back with us. Peter is always in great demand. He's performed or recorded with such a diverse list of artists, people including Carly Simon, and even produced her album Never Been Gone, and also contributed music to the audio release of her autobiography. He was a guitarist for Showtime's Ray Donovan, for the Tony and Grammy Award-winning original Broadway and film production of Hairspray. And of course, Peter's also produced his own exceptional work. In fact, his most recent album, Time Machine, went to the #9 top album on the alternative album charts. Let's welcome back to the Greenwich Village Folk Festival, Peter Callow.
Hi, how are you? Thank you. It's great to be here again on a Sunday. I grew up in Alberta, Canada, and my father was the local doctor, country doctor, you could say, and it was a small town outside of Edmonton, about 400 people. Now it's 399, and he's the old-fashioned doctor carrying the black bag, and we would get some very interesting folks. I live in the area of New York City now, and there's obviously a lot of interesting people, but certainly there's interesting people in those small towns, and one such person was a woman by the name of Ida, and she'd always show up at our back door unannounced, and I just was thinking about her and wrote this song. It's called Ida's at the Back Door. Hey, wonder what happened to you? Well, I asked, no one had a clue. You've been on every street in town. Well, I guess you just make your rounds. And now Ida's at the back door. She's checking up on me, but receiving her directions from someone I can't see. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey, you got those plaid pants on, and I see you got your hair glued down. And when you talk, sounds like you ate a bone. What's that? Sounds like you're not alone. And now Ida's at the back door. She doesn't need no key, throwing out predictions at high velocity. Ida at the back door, I never know when she'll come. She's talking about the future and thinks she's never done. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Can't you see it's getting late? You're drifting through your life like a dog without a bone, like water boiling over in a house that ain't a home. She's got something for you, and she wants to come in and parade around the room, and she's gonna give it to you whether you want it or not, 'cause it's something that she thinks you need a lot. Whoa, Ida at the back door, what do you think she sees? Staring out to something, receiving prophecies. Ida at the back door with a heart to go. Well, she don't have much to speak of, but she'd give it all to me. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to play a song here that when I first moved to Manhattan and I was living in Brooklyn, and my wife and I were sitting at the in the promenade in Brooklyn and staring at quite a different view than it is now. And this song kind of came out, and it's kind of abstract song, I guess, lyrically, and it's all kind of came in stream of consciousness. And we decided to call it an Old English expression, wired to the moon. I hate the cracks in the pavement. I play a game of avoidance. Count my steps to the corner of the street. 2, 3, 4. And if by chance I might lose my way, it's amazing how a stranger can point out the way. Little things they might say to you might help you by, might see you through. I couldn't see it for myself, I couldn't make out the way. So I try to tell the difference between night and day. The connection is lost, it has disappeared, and it's led me to imagine my worst fears. Dreams I have entered and dreams I have escaped. I can't seem to remember, I can't keep them straight. And everyone is talking, and at the same time it's got me spinning in circles in my mind. Oh, can't you see something's pulling at me? I'm just a victim of the crowded street, wired to the moon, wired to the moon, wired to the moon. The avenue is a place to meet, a chance to sit. You can be so discreet, but there's no way you can compete with what you can't see on that city street. And there's no one knows what you're thinking, and those you never find blinking. People keep coming as people keep moving. It's hard to imagine just what they're all doing. And everyone is talking, and at the same time it's got me spinning in circles in my mind. Oh, can't you see something's pulling at me? I'm just a victim of the crowded street, wired to the moon, wired to the moon, wired to the moon. Something's pulling at me. I'm just a victim of the crowded street. Wired to the moon. Oh, can't you see something's pulling at me? I'm just a victim of the crowded street, wired to the moon, 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 wired to the moon. Wired to to the moon, wire to the moon, wire to the moon. Thank you.
Peter Callow, and it sounded like a whole band there just with that acoustic guitar, Peter. And I was fascinated when you said you grew up in a small town in Alberta, because I was born in Calgary and haven't lived there since 1967 when I was 13, but we might have been neighbors by a few hundred miles or something.
I'm going back there in July to visit.
Well, give them my regards, please.
I will do.
Our next artist is Scott Ainsley, and Scott is an important link on the folk music chain, who includes performances of music he picked up from some of the first and second generation recording and performing artists in both the blues and gospel and old-time Appalachian traditions. And this is actually not the first time I've introduced Scott Ainsley at a folk festival event. The first time was probably 25 or so years ago at the Champlain Valley Folk Festival in Vermont, where I emceed for many years. And when I heard Scott at the Champlain Valley Festival, I remember being mightily impressed with how deeply he plunged into the wells of traditional music. His playing and singing are deeply informed by the masters he's listened to in person and on records recorded in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, and beyond. Here is Scott Ainsley.
Mike, thank you. How nice to have you guys here and be in such fine company. I'm going to start with a song that I wrote in 2008 about the loss of a migrant in the Sonoran Desert. Since Jasper hails from there, I thought that this song might be appropriate. Market in the town I was born. It's full of cheap clothes from China and American corn. But we have a small farm that we water with tears. How can we compete? The gringo farms are so big. Now we cannot stay here. And why would I leave the land that I love? Consuelo, Rosalita, Mama y Papa. My grandfather's homes are up on the hill. If it weren't for the wages, I'd be living there still. So we pay the coyote. We rode in the van. We walked in the desert, lost in this land. Her feet were so blistered that she could not go on. When I left her, I kissed her. When I came back, she was gone. And why did we leave the land that we love? Consuelo, Rosalita, Mama y Papa. My grandfather's bones are up on the hill. If it weren't for low wages, I'd be living there still. Who cares if your markets are free? Look what you've done to my wife and me. Who cares if your markets are free? was a poor man who suffered and died. A crown of thorns, spear in his side. He said, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they do. But I'm sorry, my friend, when we come to the end, how can we say that of you? Why did we leave the land that we love? Consuelo, Rosalita, Mama y Papa. My grandfather's bones are up on the hill. If it weren't for the wages, I'd be living there still. Who cares if your markets are free? Look what you've done, my wife and me. Who cares if your markets are free? The land that I love. Next song comes from the playing of a man named Emmett Murray, who was born in the early years of the 20th century, and as a teenager went into the turpentine camps in South Georgia or Central Florida. And the camps were set up so that you would be promised like $1 a day to go into the pine woods and strip pine bark and render it into turpentine for 6 or 8 weeks, eating bad company food, drinking weak coffee, and sleeping in their tents, and then under the guns of white overseers, be dropped off when all the barrels were full. And they would typically not pay you your wages, withholding it for your room and board. So nobody did this twice, but a lot of young black men went into the woods hoping to come out with $60 or $80 at the end of 2 months. And when they actually wound up with nothing, and the white folks had the turpentine, and they had been robbed and no recourse. So he only did this once, but he came out of that camp with this song, and it tells us more about that life than anything you can imagine. It was recorded in 1980 by Dwight Devane, the folklorist for the Florida State folklorist, and a fine player himself. Emmett Murray, You Better Lie Down. Captain got away, he got to stop, waking me up at 4 o'clock. You old long time rounders, you lie down. Lay down late, but you get up soon. Ain't seen nothing but the stars and the moon. All of you old long time rounders, you lie down. sugar bears sing. All of you old, long time rounders, you lie down. If I'd have known my captain was me, I never would have left St. Augustine. All of you old, long time rounders, you lie down. Lie down. Better lie down. A record that I recorded with Scott Petito over in Woodstock, New York, called The Feral Crow. It's a record of non-blues songs that just needed to find a way out. And it's called Cold in Here. Thought I felt a little cool breeze come through. Shall we do? Don't it feel cold in here to you? Turn up the heat. Warm up your feet. Turn on the light. Nothing seems right. so good to be with you all tonight. Thank you a lot.
Thank you.
Scott Ainsley. Wow, always great to see you. And I'm looking forward. I'm going to be seeing you at the Old Songs Festival. I understand you're on the lineup there this year.
Yes, I am, and I'm looking forward to it. Big fun.
Have any other festivals or anything you're planning this summer?
Not really, actually. It's a fairly spare summer. Like everybody else, I've been sort of a little bit fearful about going out on the road. I'm 71 in September, and I don't want to be a public health hazard. I also don't want to go broke, and I like to plan my work. So we'll be at the outdoor festival, and I'll be looking for some other things like that.
Great. Well, we'll see you at Old Songs, and of course, we'll be playing you on the radio. So keep making great music, Scott Ainsley.
All the best.
Well, speaking of being on the radio, I'm also, first of all, I'm Ron Olesko. I direct a channel called folkmusicnotebook.com, and we're doing the audio stream for tonight's event, as we do every month. And I'm just noticing we've got listeners tuned in all across the country. We've got people listening in Brazil right now. And I just checked the YouTube and the Facebook pages, and it's such a nice community that I see out there. I see people chatting back and forth about the artists, and I'm looking at people like Neil and Sandy and Carol, Handyman Roger, and all these great folks that gather every month. So thank you for your support. Thank you for being part of this. And for those of you who are watching this in the archives, don't forget, it's the first Sunday of every month. It's a free event, although we do have a tip jar that, I got to keep pushing it because we want to keep doing this. It's such an amazing collection of artists in our folk community, and we want to continue to bring it to you on the first Sunday of every month. So if you can support us, we appreciate it. You can check out our website at greenwichvillagefolkfestival.org. Well, coming up, we still have David Wilcox, Tret Fury, Rod MacDonald, and Mark Dan. And now I have the honor of introducing Sarah Milanovic. Now, she was named the 2022 Americana Artist of the Year by the Capital District Thomas Edison Music Awards, which is known as the Eddies. It's in the Capital District of New York. And she was raised on her family's working farm. She found her musical influences at a young age when she was exposed to her parents' record collection and her grandparents' efforts in organizing local bluegrass concerts. She started playing violin at the age of 4. She had her own band at the age of 9. And at the age of 16, she dropped out of school and joined the popular Celtic bluegrass band, the Mackrells. Well, since then, she's had a very busy career performing and recording throughout North and South America, Europe, and beyond. And she's collaborated with and accompanied numerous artists, including people like Richard Shindell and even Pete Seeger on his Grammy Award at 89 album. She's also appeared as the featured violinist in the Broadway musical Come From Away. She made her solo debut with an album in 2009 called Daisy Cutter, and that album title became the name of her band. And her most recent album is titled Northeast. It was produced by Daisy Cutter guitarist Greg Anderson, who is also accompanying her tonight. Now, Greg, he's worked with a wide variety of artists and an even wider variety of musical genres, including people like Eileen Ivers, Kathy Ryan, Richard Shindell, Jack Hardy, and the Klezmatics. It's a real treat to have them with us tonight. Please welcome Sarah Milanovic and Greg Anderson.
By your eyes, blending with the underbrush, coiled up to stride, coiled up to stride. Still looking for what's good about goodbye. It's like staring at the moonlit snow, saying it's fireflies. Only time was like the river that runs both ways. Tide could deliver back those days. You were a storm front making grown men cry, watching young girls sing. But there's a last time for everything. Pressed between these pages in our hands, a crumbling yellow leaf, the way you used to stand. Now we're gathered round like crows circling for home, bewildered wild creatures, not understanding where you've gone, why you've gone. Radiator exhales into the morning. Scrape the ice off the windshield. Smell the frozen wood burning. Pray the blue ghosts of trees will summon back the spring. Try to keep the faith, but there's a last time for everything. If only time was like the river that runs both ways. Tide could deliver back those days. Another song, another drink, another sunset's glowing ring. But there's a last time for everything. There's a last time for everything. Thank you. Thanks. Well, that was the lead-off track from our most recent album, which was titled Northeast, and I wrote that song a few years ago about a couple of different people, but it's still all true. This next song is the title track to that album, and it's about as close to a declaration of intent or an autobiographical statement, I suppose, as I've written, and it's called Northeast. The wind is too damn lazy to go around. Steals your hope of ever getting warmer. Taught the telephone wires to sing the lonely song. And I still hold my breath around every corner. 'Cause tomorrow spring might still be lost, stuck in a ditch next to a dirty plywood cross, with the beer cans and best laid plans, barbed wire skeletons and dreams in the Northeast. Stop signs crease from where the snowplow hit it, and the city glitters glitters like a shot glass in the sun. At night the stars are sharp as diamond drill bits. You can forget for a while about the dead and done. Went from living the dream to just living. The hardest part of being broke is the pretending that when November plants cold boots upon your shoulders, it doesn't scare you in the least. In the Northeast, it's hard to tell which is heavier, the concrete sky or this tiny town. You wonder why. Say I'm like the weather, as unforgiving as January ground. Smile is still an echo of the ridgeline. You won't recognize these hills in any song. Folded map that's worn away with time, but it's as good a place as any to be from. Even when every day's a bluebird sky, don't always do things the hard way, but you try. You can't escape the boulders surfacing in spring, or this rusty rage you've been bequeathed. In the Northeast, we recorded that song, and the fiddle part at the end we recorded separately. Greg and I did about 12:30 or 1 a.m. in the tunnel underneath Breakneck Ridge between Beacon and Cold Spring, New York, because every time we drove through there we thought the reverb was so incredible. And so we snuck out one night and we did it, and the reverb was indeed incredible. But what I didn't take into account was that the song was very obviously set in the dead of winter, and for a lot of logistical reasons we couldn't record it in the dead of winter, so we did it in August. And the reverb is absolutely fantastic, but amidst all that decay at the very end is this overpowering sound of crickets at the end of that song. So the record literally ends with the sound of crickets on a song about winter. But we're going to finish off with this one, which is not one of mine. I really wish it was, if for no other reason than the royalties. But Greg brought this song into the band. It had been on his short list of things to cover for a number of years, and I'm glad that we got a chance to do an alt country version of it. because I love the sentiment, and I think it lends itself really, really well to that kind of porchy stomp kind of thing. But it was written by Robert Plant and Jimmy Page. Alas, not me. But thanks to Rod for having us again. It's great to be back here. Great to see so many familiar faces, and looking forward to seeing a bunch more of you at Old Songs in a few weeks as well. So that's going to be great.
Sarah Milanovic and Greg Anderson, and I love what you did with that song. I really liked the original material too, but I don't think I'll listen to that song the same way ever again.
That's the idea.
Excellent.
Yeah. Our next performers are Rod McDonald with Mark Dan on the bass, and I'm very excited for the opportunity to introduce Rod, not only because he was one of the founders of the original Greenwich Village Folk Festival and is now one of the driving forces behind these monthly online concerts, but Rod, who lived in the heart of Greenwich Village until he moved to Florida in the 1990s, is one of my personal connections to the village. I remember staying at Rod's apartment on McDougal Street in the late 1970s and walking around the village with him. I remember loving his songs even before his albums, and many concert, festival, and club shows established him firmly as one of the village folk scene's leading lights in the 1980s and 90s. And I guess it was around 20 or 21 years ago that I got a plum assignment from Sing Out magazine to do a feature-length article on Rod. So we talked extensively at that time as I was preparing that article. I'm quite thrilled to say, here are Rod McDonald and Mark Dan.
Hey, hi. Thank you, Michael, for that very nice introduction. Hi, everybody. This is Mark. And we're here at the home of Nancy Hirschadter and Jerry Hansen, away from the usual Purple Throne that I've been playing shows like this on. And we just got here a little while ago and didn't have a chance to do a sound check. So I'm going to strum a couple chords here, and Mark's going to play a little bass. And somebody tell me if it's like cutting in and out or too loud or anything.
Sounds pretty
Mike,
good
give
so
me a
far,
thumbs
man.
up if that seems to sound good.
Sounds pretty good so far.
I didn't go to Woodstock. There was no way to get through. I've never been arrested for anything I didn't do. I never was a hippie, though I traveled with a few. When the highways closed, I went to work, just like they told me to. You're not going to Woodstock, my boss, he sat me down. We're not gonna cover it, we need you downtown. That's where there's a biker gang. And just the other night, they went into a Latin bar, and it turned into a fight. I went down to the biker gang, they had a password at the door. I handed them a bottle, we sat down on the floor. The head man took a swig, passed it to me, and said, now you, when it comes back the other way, you take a drink then too. We passed the bottle back and forth, I took a drink each time. 2 for every one of us, I was feeling pretty fine. I went back to the office, wrote down everything they said, passed out on the bathroom floor, wishing I was dead. ID. He said, get on out of here. Outside, 2 gangs were squaring off just when the cops arrived. They lobbed in a tear gas canister, and then a dog bit some guy. You didn't go to Woodstock, but you heard old Joni's song. You couldn't go to Woodstock, 'cause you weren't even born. I went back to the bar at midnight, just as I turned 21. Happy birthday, said the barman. of a crowd. I never was a hippie, even when I tried. I wasn't there at Woodstock, but the dream never died. Yeah, you got it. True story. I actually turned 21 at midnight Saturday night of Woodstock, and that was what I did instead of going. I was a newspaper reporter for the Hartford Courant as a summer intern, and I managed to get myself tear gassed instead of going to Woodstock. I'd like to introduce somebody to everybody. You know, Ray Mysick and I and Ron and Brandon and Greg Greenway and a bunch of us have been managing these online concerts, but I'd like to introduce the person to you, Mr. Jerry Hinson, who actually started all of this. Back in 1987, when we were all hanging out in the village, Jerry told me one day that he had managed to get a permit for a concert in Central Park. And to me, who came from a small town in Connecticut, the idea of getting a permit from the city of New York for anything without having to pay a lot of money to some politician struck me as, wow, really impressive. So I said, do you think you could get a permit for the softball field to have a concert? And lo and behold, he did it. I said, how did you ever do that? He said, I went down there and I just sat in the guy's office until it was time for him to go to dinner. And he said, I think he said, what do I have to do to get rid of you? And I said, give me a permit. And he gave me a permit, and there we were. And so we scheduled the first Greenwich Village Folk Festival for the baseball field where the St. Luke's Flukes softball team played. And then it was on the first Sunday of October, and the temperature dropped to about like 25 degrees. And the sound crew called me up and said, we can't set up. So we hustled over to the Washington Square Church and rented the church on 3 minutes notice. And by 4 o'clock that afternoon, there were like 500 people waiting to get in. And we had a tremendous free concert with Richie Havens and Peter Yarrow and all kinds of people. And we lasted, I don't know, I think we did 6 or 7 years. And then Jerry kept it going for a couple of years after I moved to Florida. So I want to say thank you, Jerry, for getting this all kicked off. Good work, my friend.
My pleasure. Getting a community where everybody could get together and basically do things without it being music business as such. You get your audience all together, and you know, musicians playing with each other, and you're not worried about permission from ASCAP or Warner Brothers or whatever. And it's an amazing collaboration.
Don't make too much of that, or they'll start calling us on the phone. Well, you know,
it was all free, so there was no contract.
It's really true that the Greenwich Village Folk Festival has never really truly been about the music business. I'd have to say that's a very accurate statement. Well, Jerry, we got to keep going here. We got to get our set done in 15 minutes. So, but I just wanted everybody to meet the man who actually made all this possible way back when, and here we are, still going strong. Well, let's do a song for you.
Well, thanks to you guys.
I have a brand new CD. It just came out actually 3 days ago. Yeah, that's right side up. June 1st, produced it at the studio of Mr. Mark Danier playing bass. Mark played bass on it. We also had my drummer from Florida, Bill Meredith, playing drums, and Robin Batteau and Ian Wilkinson playing fiddle. And here's one of the songs that we played with Robin, actually, really on this. And I have to kind of do the nickel version of it here on the harmonica because Robin's not here to play it. But just in case anybody wants to see us together, Robin and I are playing together in the Bull Run outside of Boston on July 15th, the little town of Shirley. We're splitting the evening, and we'll probably each play a set and then probably song swap for a set. So this is one of the new tunes on the new CD. It's called Here and Everywhere. You wouldn't guess it, but I miss you so. You seem so far away, and even though we barely speak when we're both there, I miss you here and everywhere. It's late at night and I'm somewhere else. You're asleep and the story tells a man whose world is crystal clear. I miss you here and everywhere. Over the mountain on virgin snow, along the cliffs where the seabirds go, across the distance, you're still so near. I miss you here and everywhere. How can I tell you what I feel? The words serve only to conceal. I lack the courage to declare I miss you here and everywhere. The wind howls outside, the rain is gone. The smell of dead leaves remains strong. The seasons burn and love is rare. I miss you here and everywhere. 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 Thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody looking to find out about the CD? rodmcdonald.com is a good place to go. I also have a USB drive with 4 of my CDs, including that one on it. And that's only available at rodmcdonald.net. So you got to go to the recordings page for Rants and Romance to get one of those. Downloads, individual song downloads, all that stuff, that's all at rodmcdonald.com. I should also mention I'm on tour a bit this summer, playing in the Carolinas in June a lot. I'm playing Jacksonville June 9, Bluffton, South Carolina the 10th, 3 concerts in Western North Carolina, Brevard on the 17th and Franklin on the 18th. And then I'm teaching songwriting 1 week virtually at Common Ground on the Hill the last week of June, and doing some lectures virtually from my FAU programs, and then doing it in person in Westminster, Maryland on the first week of July, playing the Common Ground on the Hill Festival on the 8th, and on, and then Boston on the 15th, and so on and so forth. So come see me if you can. If I'm not playing anywhere near you, call somebody up, tell them to hire me. Whoops, easy there. Jerry, move your foot. Oh, there you go, sorry. Yeah. It's crowded around here. All right. Well, I've been getting asked a lot about the situation in the state of Florida where I live, my kids, and the the absolute destruction that's being enacted on the educational system of Florida by the powers that be. And I can't go so far as to say this song is specifically about any one person. I almost wish it were, but unfortunately there are more than one person like this. So all I can do is sing the song. If you know who was governor 100 years ago, he'd have stood up for our freedom, don't you know? You wouldn't have to get vaccinated, and let me just say, it's a shame we don't have smallpox today. Hey, it's a shame we don't have smallpox today. There was no one with the courage to stand in the way when we all got vaccinated and the disease went away. Now it's a shame we don't have smallpox today. You folks get home and sing along. Hey, let's pay tribute to the wisdom and intentions of the man who sues the feds on behalf of all the parents in the land. So your 6-year-old can go to school and sneeze all around and not have to wear a mask or get a needle in the arm. And it's a shame we don't have smallpox today. There was no one with the courage to stand in the way when they all got vaccinated and the disease went away. Now it's a shame we don't have smallpox today. Now the governor stands for freedom, we can all agree. His freedom to tell the schools they can't teach what they please. His freedom to tell employers they can't protect their employees by making their workplace safe from infectious disease. Or his freedom to tell the health department they can't count the dead. Or his freedom to hire a health inspector who's out of his head. His freedom to tell the voters all the ways their votes are gone. And his freedom to tell women their bodies aren't their own. And his freedom to tell the cities they can't pass their own laws. His freedom to tell the legislature the maps they can't draw, lest they guarantee him victory. And just in case that smells, his freedom to fire everybody and count the votes himself. And it's a shame we don't have smallpox today. Hey, but you can have our governor, he's coming your way. He's running for president, and you better not say gay. It's a shame we don't have smallpox today. Ah, he's running for president, and you better not say gay. It's a shame we don't have smallpox today. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening. Real fun to be with you, and really enjoying all the other music we've been listening to since we got here a couple hours ago. So see you soon. And hi, Ron. I think you're ready.
Hey, Ron. Listen, I just want to give an unsolicited recommendation for your new CD. You were kind enough to send us a copy a few weeks before it was released, and it's another winner. Rancid Romance. And you know what I love about it? You've got 17 songs on the album. 14 of them are yours, and you kind of do that old tradition that Fast Folk did by sharing other people's songs. In fact, you've got 3 songs from other Greenwich Village Folk Festival alumni, Joe Jenks and Daryl Purpose and Cliff Everhart. Yeah. So.
Well, you know, I got talking with Joe. Joe and I have played a lot of shows together and traveled around a little bit together. And I got talking to Joe one time, and I posed a long-held theory of mine to him. And I said, you know, I think one of the things that holds folk music back is that it's like, you know, in the 60s, there were 50 artists and they each sold 25,000 or 50,000 records. Now there's 50,000 artists and we each sell 25 records. And everybody, all the fans are like almost expected to know everybody's individual biography because we're all songwriters and we're all telling the stories of our lives and stuff. And I said, I thought it really would help if somehow people kind of came together behind some of the best songs that get written. So I proposed to Joe that I sing Lady of the Harbor, which I did, which is certainly one of the best songs I think out there
Oh, yeah.
these days. And he told me that he'd always loved one of my songs, For the People, so he put that up on YouTube. And then I said the same thing to Cliff, that I really loved When We Were Kings. I wanted to be one of the first people to cover one of his songs that wasn't Good Night. And he said, "Oh, thank goodness," So I did When We Were Kings, which is a great song, really great song. Some other festival will play it. And so he's going to do, I think, The Coming of the Snow, he told me. And Daryl had this amazing song, Dangerous Game. Yeah, that's like a ride of his life. I mean, insane life the guy's lived. So yes, I thank you for noticing that. I really enjoyed doing those 3 songs a lot. It was really fun.
Well, we're going to be playing a lot of it on the radio, so we'll look forward to hearing more from you. And listen, enjoy the rest of your tour. Thanks again for doing this festival, and we'll see you again real soon.
Thanks, Ron.
McDonald. Oh, listen, I just want to make a little correction before. I mentioned Scott Ainsley was going to be at the Old Songs Festival. Well, I had forgotten that we have 2 other artists that are going to be there, Sarah Milanovic, and also our next performer will be appearing at this year's Old Songs Festival. Now, our next guest began performing at the age of 16 in coffee houses and college campuses in the Midwest. She moved to LA when she was 19. Within a year, she was playing guitar for Spencer Davis. And in 1973, her first album was released on MCA Records, an album that was produced by none other than the late Lowell George of Little Feat fame. Well, in addition to being a gifted songwriter and performer, Tret has engineered and produced countless recordings by a variety of artists, including her own work. And in the early 80s, she was a pivotal artist in the blossoming genre that became known as women's music, recording and producing some of the genre's best music. And right now, she's putting the final touches on her 18th album, which will be called Lavender Moonshine. And it's going to feature all new songs, including several topical songs, as well as love songs. And maybe, just maybe, tonight we might hear something from this project. Well, this coming Saturday, June 10th at 7 p.m., she'll be performing a free concert at the Unitarian Universalist Church in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And right now, she's also here with us. Please give a warm welcome to Tret Fury.
Thank you, Ron. Actually, I'm going to be doing, all 3 of my songs are going to be from the new CD because I'm so excited about this new work that I'm doing. And before I start, I just want to say, Rod, I'm so glad you did that last song. I was hoping you would, because I loved hearing that in North Carolina last month or whatever. So that was a treat. So this is the title song from the new CD, and it is called Lavender Moonshine. Have you ever stayed up late at night, staring at the sky, thinking about who was born right now and who's afraid to die? It's the circle of life surrounding you that makes you feel so fine, as you taste that cool, cool water and the lavender moonshine. Long as you recall, playing every bar and club, and sometimes a great hall. But the thing that keeps you moving, the thing that is so fine, is the taste of that cool water and the lavender moonshine. Walk along the boardwalk, salty air, thank the heavens for all you have and for the ones for whom you care, and sit beside a stranger, sit beside a friend, and always keep an open heart. It'll help you in you taste sometime, no sweet can ever quell. Once you bite right through that trace, you sense a deeper spell. 'Cause everything you hope for and every spool you wind is in the taste of that cool water and the lavender moonshine. Walk along the boardwalk, breathe the salty air, thank the heavens for all you have and the ones for whom you care, and sit beside a stranger, sit beside a friend, and always keep an open heart. It'll help you in the end. Oh, the heart's deep longing is in everything you know. We scratch along the surface and we shovel through the snow, but all the while we're searching for the reason that we're here. It's clear that love is what we're looking for. Love is how we see. Love is in our fears and in our ecstasy. Love's the sweetest kiss goodnight. Love's the axe we grind. It's in the taste of that cool water and the lavender moonshine. Walk along the boardwalk, breathe the salty air, thank the heavens for all you have and the ones for whom you care, and sit beside a stranger, sit beside a friend, and always keep an open heart. It'll help you in the end. Sit beside a stranger if it makes you feel so fine, and taste that cool, cool water and the lavender moonshine. Thank you. Thank you. So this song came out of I teach a workshop on Whidbey Island every summer. This will be my 12th year. And every year the same people come back. So I can't rest on my laurels ever. You have to come up with something new every time, of course, for my students. And so this past year I decided the exercise would be to take a word from a book that I had brought, a book that I was reading, and then you had to find 6 associative words out of a thesaurus. And you had to take those 6 words and write a paragraph, or 7 words and write a paragraph. And then from that paragraph, you had to write a song. And all those words had to appear in the first 2 verses. And I always do the exercises myself, sometimes first, so I make sure that they will work. And this is a song that I came up with. Most of my songs are autobiographical, but this one is not. It's called The Language of Love. A strained touch, we held back so much, that awkward stare, so hard to bear. We were so uneasy in the language of love, the language of love. We labored for years, choked by our fears. Stiffly we held back, we just didn't have the knack. We were so uneasy in the language of love, the language of love. How is it that some have no at all. Not afraid of flying, not afraid of the fall. Feeling only love and light and laughter. This is what my heart is truly after. How would things have stacked if we were loose and laid back? No self-conscious days, just comfortable ways. But we were so uneasy in the language of love. The language of love. How is it that some have no fear at all? Not afraid of flying, not afraid of the fall. Feeling only love and light and laughter. This is what my heart is truly after. Movie screens, lovesick dreams. How would that be for you and me? Letting go of all we know and finding a new way home. But we were so uneasy in the language of love. The language of love. Yeah, we were so uneasy in the language of love. The language of love. Thank you. I'm hoping that this album will be out by August. We're starting mixing soon. I've still got to do the cover art, but I'm pretty much on track for an early August release, I'm hoping. So watch for that, please. And of course, you can find out everything on my website, TrutFury.com. Now, this last song, it's interesting because I know that Jasper did a song based on the Dobbs decision, because it's something that we never thought we'd have to write about. Who would have thought that we would go so far back in time that we would be dealing with abortion rights once again? But unfortunately, we are. So Jasper, thank you for writing your beautiful song. Mine's a little angrier, but then I've got a lot of years on you, and I'm much angrier at this point. This is called The Great Backslide, and thank you so much for bringing me back to Greenwich Village Folk Festival for the third time. I appreciate it so much. It's my body, it's my life, it's my choice on my own time. It wasn't for you to ever decide, but here we are now in the great backslide. These are my hands, strong and fine. They've carried me through all these times, whether in prayer or holding the line. They can't be tied to the great backslide. But don't presume you have an answer. In my world, you're not a dancer. You see things in black and white, mostly white, mostly white. So sure you're right. These are my hopes, these are my dreams. Through all these times, they carried me. Whether in solitude or side by side, we can't succumb to the great backslide. right, but mostly white, mostly white. So sure you're right. It's my body, it's my right, and it's my choice on my own time. But what's it for you to ever decide? 'Cause here we are now in the great backline, whether in solitude or side by side, we can't succumb to the great backslide.
Tret Fury, and Tret, I'm really looking forward to the chance to share those songs with my radio listeners when the album comes out. And again, great songs. And that second song, the Language of Love song, that sounded to me like it would have been perfect for Ella Fitzgerald back in the day.
I wish.
This is I'm about to make my last introduction tonight, so I just want to take a quick opportunity to say that this is my second time getting to co-host the Greenwich Village Folk Festival, and I want to thank Rod and Ray and Ron and Brandon and everybody else who's connected with the Greenwich Village Folk Festival, because it's a wonderful event, and I've had so much fun doing it both last time and again tonight, and hopefully you'll want to have me back again. I'm happy to do it anytime. Our next performer is David Wilcox, and being Canadian, I was immediately suspicious in the late 1980s when I began to hear about a folk-rooted singer-songwriter named David Wilcox, because here in Canada we know the name David Wilcox as being one of our country's finest blues and rock and roll guitarists. But I quickly determined that there were two excellent musicians named David Wilcox, and that the American David Wilcox was a prolific songwriter who has now made more than 20 albums, and he's widely acclaimed for his deeply insightful songwriting and for his heartfelt singing and guitar playing, on which he often uses open tunings to find new ways to express himself on the instrument. Here is David Wilcox.
It's been so fun to be listening and hearing all these beautiful songs, and I'm grateful to be in this community tonight with you. Wow. I want to start with this. This is a song that's an apology to my brother. And the story, a common one where the family is splitting up and the kids feel like, man, it's like being on a boat that's sort of cracking into, maybe we should run for different sides just to try and stay afloat. I was scared if I stayed it would sink me. I couldn't make that mistake. I found my way to a lifeboat. I had to make my escape. You could drown in that sorrow, but I left you behind. I abandoned my brother. I betrayed my heart and made up my mind. No excuse, I just felt desperate, like our ship was sinking in the waves. I survived by just being selfish and calling it brave. When we talk, there's always laughter and a lot we don't say. I at least made the journey. For our dad's dying day. But when you placed his ashes down into his grave, I just texted a message from 550 miles away. No excuse, I just felt desperate, like our ship was sinking in the waves. I survived by just being selfish and calling it brave. We were kids, but still we could feel it. A family breaking apart. Pick one side or the other of those two broken hearts. You took sides with our mother. I took sides with our dad. So we fought one another, missing out on the brother we might have had. No excuse, I just felt desperate, like our ship was sinking in the waves. I'm alive to ask for forgiveness, finally brave. I'm alive to ask for forgiveness, finally brave. I wrote this with the lovely band The Accidentals, and really fun, inspiring, powerful women. And we started on this song, and for me, songwriting is always about deepening a friendship, you know, co-writing, I mean, sorry. And so I was asking, you know, like, what's up? And she's talking about having trouble sleeping. And so I talked about, you know, like, well, where's that show up in your body? Where's the tension? Where's the worry? And so we got writing a song about, like, healing the anxiety. And she was coming up with good lines, and I was saying, like, is that true? And she said, no. And I said, why not? She said, well, you know, the anxiety is the engine that motivates me to do everything I do. And I said, so it's good. And she said, yes, no, yes. And I love this. So this is a really interesting, conflicted song that's so true for her. And it was really fun for me to get a window into her world. I should be sleeping, but I'm thinking in bed, burning the fire of doubt. That fucking smoke detector's there in my head. Let's take the batteries out. Any beauty that was left in the wreckage was generated out of the dread. Guess I thought it would be quieter now, but my fear is always buzzing so loud. It's an engine I would never try to shut down, 'cause it keeps the lights on. 'cause it keeps the lights on. I get the feeling something's burning inside. I never seek out the smoke. It's a caldera, but it's easy to hide. I laugh it off like a joke. Any beauty that was there in the wreckage was generated out of the dread. Guess I thought it would be quieter now, but my fear is always buzzing so loud. It's an engine I would never try to shut down, 'cause it keeps the lights on, 'cause it keeps the lights on. Strange, I was happy when the power went out, just to know that I could stand the dark. Any beauty that was left in the wreckage was generated out of the dread. Guess I thought it would be quieter now, but my fear is always buzzing so loud. It's an engine I would never try to shut down, 'cause it keeps the lights on, 'cause it keeps the lights on. Oh, I hope she was like making her point. Yeah, you're using it. It's working until it's not. So this is a, you've noticed that when you hear people's stories, it always sounds so much cooler to be them. You know, like they'll talk about some adventure that they had, and you think, whoa, I could never do that. Well, you've done great adventures. When they hear your adventures, they probably think, oh, I could never do that, you know. So this is all about that. Everything in this cabin needs replacing. I was okay to knock the whole thing down. It would take a restoration down to the foundation. Either that or raise it to the ground. But a couple of people stayed while I was traveling. I rented it out the year I was away. And now that I've returned, I'm so surprised to learn the renters must have really loved their stay. 'Cause look at the words they wrote here in my guest book. We're grateful as we can be, you'd rent your home. They said we're usually so wired, but dreaming by the fire, we felt a kind of peace we've rarely known. And they wrote that they loved the nook beside the kitchen. It's weathered and worn, the finish to the grain. They said the window in the breeze will put a soul at ease. The view will help renew and keep you sane. Really? 'Cause my life seems to be one long spectacular catastrophe. But now I begin to see how it might appear, apparently, to somebody. One might make a life right here. Right here. They said we love the wild assortment of your china. White elephant sails must really make you smile. Your multicolored dinner plates sure made us appreciate the freedom of your brave, eclectic style. There's something about your home that feels forgiving. The action figures on the chandelier. We hope on our return we can save the lessons learned and keep the satisfaction we found here. Here? My life seems to be one long spectacular catastrophe. But now I begin to see how it might appear. Apparently, for somebody, one might make a life right here. Man, I want to go. Wait a minute. I was going to say I was going to go where they went, but they went here. I want to be as contented as my renters, remembering that I'm only passing through. I'd like to feel forgiven for the life that I am living and see it from a traveler's point of view, and that means falling in love with all the imperfections. The overhead lighting plays some clever tricks. The pull string on the bathroom light sometimes will put up a fight. Jiggle it a little if it sticks. Jiggle it a little if it sticks. What if there is nothing here to fix? Jiggle it a little, it'll be alright. Jiggle it a little, it'll come to light. What if there is nothing here to fix? I have 2 minutes to do another song. This is a song that started very simply. And it was just about my dog being scared of something that couldn't possibly hurt her. It was just the thunder. But her fear was still her fear. So it grew from there. Just a thunderstorm growling in the sky. I sure wish I could explain. My dog's terrified like we're all gonna die. But our garden needs the rain. You got a big fear that rides you. Makes the danger seem so real. You seek shelter that could hide you from the terror that you feel. Now you tremble like your world is gonna end. My wise words all sound the same. It's just thunder, but the rainbow is your friend. Your foolish pain is still your pain. And speaking of rainbows, I wonder what makes people so afraid. It might make sense to fear the thunder, but not a bright rainbow parade. But you were terrified of people on your street. You told yourself that they were strange. But you were neighbors once you got the chance to meet. You see how prejudice can change. You had a big fear release you, a trumped up lie that took control. Hateful people tried to fleece you, but you kept your loving soul. Conversations with new neighbors and new friends. There's no enemies in sight. It's just a power play when politics pretends we should have culture wars to fight. But look, here in your garden there's a rainbow. You learned the blossoms all by name. We're not afraid of what we do know. We're all different and the same. Here in your garden there's a rainbow. You learned the blossoms all by name. We're not afraid of what we do know. We're all different and the same. Thanks, y'all.
David Wilcox, thank you so much. It's become a tradition, our final performer. We asked for an encore. Could you give us another one? Would you mind?
Thank you. This is a ridiculous fun song. Now, I'm in this songwriter group. It's a lovely songwriter group every month, Facebook thing. It's, deliver by the end of the month or you're out. The June prompt was pack. They say you buy your freedom with the things you leave behind. You drop the extra baggage that you carry in your mind. You sold away your dignity just working for the man's. So break the glass, take it back, come up with a plan and then pack. Grab your stuff and lift it. You don't have to wait until you finish your shift. It just makes sense to take a break before you crack and pack. You bet on things improving. You tried to double down, investing in the hope that you could turn this place around. But working for these addicts who are practicing to die, change becomes impossible if they won't even try. So just pack. There's just one thing you needed. Get out while you're living, and you totally succeeded. When sanity's accounted for, I'd say you're in the black, and so pack. Yeah, cut your fucking losses, leave the heavy shit. Emergency exit, I'd say that this is it. The less you try to carry, the quicker you can run. Set off the alarm bell, let them know you're done. You just pack. You got to pack. Get the engine turning. Take a couple minutes, just pretend the place is burning. Before they try to hang you, just cut yourself some slack. You can They only need to like you if you're ever coming back. So pack.
Oh. David Wilcox. Thank you so much. What a great way to end our evening tonight. Thank you, David. And thanks to all of the performers who have been part of this night. We started the evening off with Jim Page, Jasper Lepak, Daniel Bowling, Grace Morrison, Peter Callow, Scott Ainsley, Sarah Milanovich, Rod MacDonald, and Mark Dan, Tread Fury, and, as you just heard, David Wilcox. And we're going to be back again next month on Sunday, July 2nd. Remember, the second Sunday of the first, no, let me get this straight. The first Sunday of the month. I should know it by now, right? We've been doing this for 3 years. But we're going to be doing something special. Many of the artists in next month's show will be performing at Common Ground on the Hill. So we're going to have a number of performers that are going to be there. And the tentative lineup, it's not all set in stone yet, but we have people like Tom Chapin, Sally Rogers, Professor Louie, Chris James, Stephen Hennigan, Shannon Quinn, and Josh Isle. It may change a bit, but believe me, whatever we have, you're going to enjoy. And I want to thank everyone who's been giving to our tip jar tonight. It's greatly appreciated, and it helps keep this going each month. And if you missed it, go to our website, greenwichvillagefolkfestival.org. You'll find out information there. Or again, just look in YouTube or Facebook. Even if you're watching on the archives, your help is greatly appreciated and keeps this going. And of course, our thanks to our crew, the one and only Brandon O'Sullivan, our sound man extraordinaire who pieced all this together. And of course, the crew for the Greenwich Village Folk Festival, Rod MacDonald, Ray Mysick, Andrea Klosky, and Jerry Kornbluth. And I hope I didn't miss anybody. There is one more person I want to thank, and I want to bring him back on. Mike Regenstrife. Mike, you still with us?
I am here. I'm here.
When are you going to be on the radio again?
Let's see. I'll be on the radio Tuesday and every Tuesday.
And how can our listeners catch you?
Just go to ckcufm.com. You can listen to the live feed at any time. And if you want to hear archives of all my shows, open the program guide and find under Tuesday, find Stranger Songs and click on Stranger Songs, and you'll find years worth of shows, and you can listen to any of them.
Oh, that's great. Well, we'll be listening. And, of course, you can listen to me and all of these wonderful artists on folkmusicnotebook.com 24/7. And, well, the music will carry on. Mike, it's always a pleasure to do this with you, and I hope you'll be back again real soon. And any closing comments for tonight?
Just that I had a great time. It's always wonderful to work with you and with Rod, and it was an incredibly great set of artists who performed tonight. I thoroughly enjoyed each and every one of them, and heard some amazing music, some of which I was not familiar with before, and some of which I was happy to revisit again.
Sure. Well, that's the great thing about this. It's an evening of discovery, of meeting old friends and community. And I see all those folks on YouTube and Facebook that have been watching us. I want to thank you all for listening. I want to thank Mike again and all of our performers. And mark your calendar, Sunday, July 2nd, the fireworks start here at the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you again real soon.